Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Om. Namaste everyone. Good to see you. Anyone has any questions or anything to talk about? Okay, I'll talk about some practical tips which can help to abide in self. First and foremost is to understand what is this self, because we all think we are the self. This body, this mind, this intellect. Intellectually, you keep hearing that this body mind complex is not me. But then we don't know what else we are. Contemplate on all the qualities of self, Atman, and don't identify with anything which does not have those qualities. The first and foremost is unchanging. Contemplate on this truth that you are unchanging. You are always unchanging. Can you believe this? Can you contemplate on this? Can you fix your attention on what is unchanging and rejecting everything which is changing? Everything which is changing is not you. Another important thing to note is some people understand that changing is not me. Mind is changing, I am not mind, which is merely thoughts. Body is changing, I am not body. Emotions are changing, I am not emotions. And rest we all know that we are not. Not my car, house, wife, kids, family, I am not. Even a job, I am not. And we also know and we can understand this clearly that whatever profession, I am not. Because one day that profession we will stop doing or we can change profession. So it can't be the same. So these all are changing and I'm not the changing thing. But we also need to understand that I am none of these things. But the biggest issue stays is still I hear these thoughts. So these thoughts are for me. I feel this body. So this body is for me. Now this me stays. Let's say I goes away at the intellectual level, but me stays. This me can only go when there is something on which we completely rely and abide, and we see in our own experience that I am that. Then only we can be 100% sure that I am not the body mind, and this body mind is not for me. Though I am for the body mind, you should also understand that without you, the body mind would be dead. So you are for the body mind, but body mind is not for you. If you can understand this, this can make a huge change in your perception. Huge change. Because all the time we think I am the body mind and body mind is for me. We are not the body mind. And without me, there is no existence of body mind. I come first, which we never count. We start from our body mind, we end at body mind. I never had any death experience in dream, but I have heard people have told me their death experiences in dream. So if you had a death experience in dream, there was someone who was watching that death, no? So that still escaped death. As in Bhagavan's case, he had a death experience in awake state. Giving up identification with body needs some pointers, some sutras, something which hit you hard, which makes you self, Atman, just by listening to it. There is very big wrong concept with all, even spiritual religious people. They think that the body dies and a soul goes and then it takes another birth. It is, concept is right as long as you think you are the body mind. But this concept is completely false. If you know you are Brahman, you are self, you are Atman. Because Atman stays the same, never goes anywhere. Self never moves, it is all over. It is not an individual self which leaves the body and goes somewhere else and takes another birth. The one which takes another birth, another form, or who thinks I am this form, is all an illusory part of it. And that illusory part disappears the moment we realize Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. But there is no one to say I am Brahman. Brahman is this pure energy. Anyone who has realized self would experience that something has pulled from inside as if to make you one. Because I believe there is something of that Brahman which gets into this delusion by staying so close to the mind that it starts thinking, I am the mind. Like I heard a story long time ago that a cub of lion actually was left after being born and was living with sheeps. So he thought he's a sheep. But one day something happened and he realized he is lion. He is the king. He is not a sheep. Though we are not, but we all think. It is only a thought. So keep contemplating about your changeless entity and be with that. Now you don't know what that changeless entity is because you can't see yourself. Self cannot see itself. Self can only know itself. When we see in the mirror, we see a form. We think I am this form. You can't see self like that, not in a mirror. When all things which we identify, which are changeless, then what is left is that only. That what we really are, all of us, never leaves body or enters body or change forms or takes forms. That which we do, which does, that some people in Hindi or Sanskrit they say jiva, and I think in English they say it's soul. It is illusion. And if you want to keep that illusion, even of a dead person, we say that he has left this body and he'll get another body and he'll go to heaven and let his soul rest in peace. And we make sure that he stays in bondage. This is what we do for our loved ones also. He stays in bondage. We make sure that he is a form and he goes to some loka. He stays in bondage. And we say, let his soul rest in peace. Soul can never rest in peace. That is the characteristic of soul. Because soul has this mind with it. Mind will never make rest in peace. For me, the heaven means you know Brahman. That is heaven. Heaven right now on earth. Eternal heaven. And when you don't know Brahman, it is hell. There is no other difference. All the sins occur because of not knowing what we are. The root cause of all sins on this earth is not knowing who we are. Because we think we are individual and there are people, others, a situation, and we become selfish, egoistic. And all this greed and all these desires, they all come because we want to serve this body at the cost of even killing others, killing other countries, killing other societies, religion, whatever. Because we think our existence means our religion, our society, our nation, our family, our body. It is just extension of that which is creating all this drama in the world and suffering in the world and wars in the world. But if you focus on what you really are, then all these stories dissolve. All these associations, connections dissolve. And as soon as they dissolve, we establish an eternal connection with everything. Previously, we were having connection with people of our faith, our society, our nation, our color, caste, creed, race. But now we are connected with everything. Everything is that same Brahman, same Atman. Undifferentiated awareness. No difference. It is a profound change. It's not a small change. It's not like in mind you have changed a concept. You have actually lost this conditioned mind completely, forever, for everything. Now nobody can exploit you. Now you are beyond any hatred. You are not belonging to any society. Not even only your religious group can exploit you. You are beyond all dualities. Just contemplate on that which is unchanging, and that unchanging is you. Then the body stays, mind stays, thought stays, emotions stay, situation, people. Let them be. If you are not them and you have deeply contemplated that I am unchanging entity, then how does it matter whether the body is decaying or getting old, or things are not done or done beautifully? Who knows all these things? Who is interested in all these things? Who wants to impress up to others? It is exactly like when you dream at night and in dream you are trying to impress others. How foolish we are. Same foolishness we are doing in this waking state, impressing others unnecessarily, showing off. No need. Without saying a word, we love everyone. For that, you don't have to go out and hug and kiss and say, I love you. Other day we had a satsang, and someone was saying exactly this. She said, I can't pretend to be loving people and showing affections loudly enough. Though I don't hate anyone and I love everyone. But I can't show off. Because there's nothing to show. To show means that you are lying. In reality, you don't love, but you want to show that you love. That's what it means. When we have agreed 100% that I am that unchanging reality, then a big change happens within. And that is that unchanging reality manifest. And all the changing, though it is there, but it has no grip on us. And we attain to the pure silence. There might be thoughts, but without identification, they have no potency. There might be a body, but without identification, there is no fear of keeping or losing the body. It is not these things which create a problem. It is our identification with them, attachment with them. And we can coexist happily in form, in word, in things around us, in relationships, but internally impartial, neutral, in our own experiential understanding, knowing that I am nothing, or at the same time knowing I am everything. Only nothing can be everything. Otherwise, something will be something only. Do you understand that? What is infinite? Infinite can be of no form. Every form is finite. The moment you make a form, it becomes finite. Only formless can be infinite. And there is no end to it. It's not that this is above, this is below, this is right, this is left. There's nothing like that. Form definitely has all these attributes. Understand that awareness is always the same and the forms are on it, all forms. And we are awareness. And the body somehow has come. And we have started thinking this individual body is me. Have you seen this body being born? And when the body was born, you had that ego identity with I am the body idea. I think it comes few years after birth. I don't know, maybe 8-9 years. Before that, everyone is saying this body as that, not me. Perhaps I believe at that young age, if someone says you are not the body, all this drama of now trying to de-identify will not be there. But society feeds us in a wrong way. Because society survives when we all have ego-driven tendencies, because ego-driven person can be exploited. He can be bribed for different things what this body wants or loves. Keep contemplating on this changeless reality. If you find anything which is changing, disown it. And then what is left is that. In this whole world, there is not even one single thing which is unchanging except you. If you identify yourself with changing, you will die. Die means you will take another form. But if your identification is only with unchanging, nothing can touch you. Be that unchanging all the time. Create a paradox within you, moving with changing, knowing I am unchanging. Using the changing, knowing that I am unchanging. Changing thoughts, but I am unchanging silence. All what is changing is superimposed on me. I have nothing to do. I was not born. Perhaps body was born. Those people through which the body was born are called parents of the body. I am unborn. I am Shiva. I have no parents. Or you tell me who were the parents of Shiva. We know Ganesha has parents. Kartikeya has parents. Who is Shiva's parents? If anyone knows, let me know. Shiva is that unborn. We are that Shiva. Sadasiva, eternal Shiva, unchanging Shiva. Unborn. This conditioning is so strong because somehow we think I am this body. We take responsibility of everything of this body and its connections at the expense of treating others in a bad way. You know what is treating others in a bad way? Treating them as others. Saying someone is other. Whatever mind says, let it say. Why do you bother what mind is saying? Mind cannot say anything to you. You're out of the word. You're not even part of the mind. You are silent awareness. And to know that, you don't have to go anywhere. When I say going anywhere means no need to travel to a place to know it. It is all within. Just sit wherever you are and contemplate on unchanging reality. Even if you say to yourself, I am that unchanging reality. I am changeless. I am eternal. You're declaring your association with that only. And that is so powerful. And it is reality. And you are saying with firm conviction, it will manifest. Or you can say what is not real will drop. When our identification with the body is no more, then all the actions of the body will be not your actions. So where would be doership? No doership, no karta bhav. You spontaneously become a karma yogi, nishkam karma. Without ego, how can there be work for personal gains when there is no person? Don't worry what others feel of your actions. How realized you as a being is, people can still say anything about the actions of the body. It is only for your own understanding, your own realization. Realization is very much personal. You are free from egoistic tendencies, from personal identity. You are free. You are in such a beautiful space where you're dancing in joy. You become that Shiva who is dancing Nataraj. No bondage. Yes, people can see you are using a body, you have a family, you have a job. For them, you might be in bondage, I don't know. But internally, you are completely free. Free and not dependent on anything, not on, even on this body. People who have money, name, fame, they think they enjoy it. No, they're in bondage with all these things which they think are giving them happiness. Only a jnani, a realized being, enjoys fully. Because you take away everything from him, still you can't take away him from him. Even you cut his body into pieces, you can't touch him. Because he is out of the dream, you are inside the dream. You can only touch the dream. Dream people can touch only dream people. But the one who is out of dream is divine, is Shiva, is free, is complete, whole, total, without any deficiency. Because here there is no deficiency, it's complete, Purna. The biggest devotee of Brahman is Brahman itself. Have you ever seen any realized being who talks at individual level and never have respect for that? This pure intelligence, you cannot believe how much intelligent it actually is as compared to mind. There is nothing without awareness. All forms, all activities are happening because of that. It is not only the source, but it is also making these forms appear and disappear. In this waking state, with your pure intentions, when you look for something you have lost, you find it sometimes. What is the logic behind it? Do you think that thing was there and because you searched, you got it? It is your pure intention which makes it there. It looks like a drama you searched and you can find now, and you got it. Understand how the grace works. It keeps things for you, so you are peaceful. And it takes away things after things when it wants you to be restless. Logic appears, logic stays in time and space. Beyond that, there is no logic. Or there is a logic which you cannot understand. It is beyond our equations. His word starts where our word ends. That is why the Indian philosophical system is very different from Western philosophical system. They call it Darshan Shastra. Darshan means you have that vision, you know it, this is it. And that is beyond mind, beyond logic. Western philosophy, it starts from mind and ends within mind. So there can't be inner growth. You can be more intellectual. You can be more intelligent. You can become a professor, Nobel laureate. You can create more concepts. But you cannot be out of these concepts. You can't transcend it. To take that jump, you have to talk about the unknown. You have to remember the unknown. And you have to leave what is known. Because whatever known is only in domain of mind. And beyond mind are we. We are beyond mind. People who cannot take this jump are the ones who are very much dependent on mind, on rational, on logic, on calculation, on law of karma. Or who are looking only for an experience. Because if Aham Brahmasmi is true, I am Brahman, that experience for whom? Who is experiencing Brahman? Experience means that something comes and goes. You experience it. But if you are that all the time, then how can you say it is experience? Who will say it is experience? Are there two people? One is Brahman, other is experiencing Brahman. Understand this truth. Everything is fleeting, all experiences, thoughts, emotions, feelings. None of us is us. And Brahman cannot be experienced in the domain of mind, which gives us experience. Nobody explains better than Bhagavan. He says, Mano Nasha, destruction of mind, and you know the self. And destruction of mind is transcendence from the mind, taking away the I from the mind. I mind, me mind, my mind. When association is not there, then there is no mind. Because mind speaks to the one who is associated. We call it ego. Ego is nothing but part of the mind which talks to itself. A lot of people talk to themselves. I have seen that. I was ordering something and this lady kept talking and kept saying to me, sorry, I'm talking to myself. So it creates duality within. Otherwise, these thoughts, whom they are talking and who listens and who feels bad or good or comments on these thoughts. We are schizophrenic. Schizo means there is division, two. Keep thinking here and analyzing and talking. Schizophrenics, they talk a bit louder, that's all. It's just we are part of the same spectrum. Not much difference. But because we all are in that spectrum for schizophrenia, we are called as normal people. But there is not much difference. Go into that plane where there is no mind, no individual, nothing. Our mind associates with everything which is changing and feels unhappy when those changing things are disappearing or decaying or lost, whether they are human beings or objects. What a foolishness. Holding on to your attachments to things which definitely are changing. Either you will be lost or others will be lost. This is the way it is. Why don't you associate with the one which never changes, never get lost, never decays? And the most important thing, it is purest of pure. We all want to be good. We all want to be associated with good. And this is the best. Untainted, pure. Because it has no mind. It has no doership. It is impartial, neutral, impersonal. Even if it wants to do something wrong, it cannot. Because it is unborn, unmanifest. This Nirgun Brahman is unmanifest. Though all the manifestation is happening on top of it, but it is unmanifest. And we all are that unmanifest. Once we know that, this manifest form through which we interact also get purified in that knowingness. And in that form, the identity with that form is secondary, like a shadow. When you are walking and your shadow is walking, how much do you want to protect the shadow? Or you take care of the shadow? Or do you ask your shadow whether it has eaten, had water, is okay, is happy with you? Whole perception of everything changes to an extent unimaginable. though it is not a point to talk about everything, but try to understand that we fix our internal software and everything gets fixed forever. Then you don't read scriptures to find or tell others truth. I have seen thousands and millions of people, they just keep opening the old books and read from that and explain. Blind teaching a blind. Like a parrot. Keep reading. If you know the truth, you become scripture. You can say about everything what is there because you are there. If you are in a place, you can talk about it as it is. But if you're reading a book about a place, yes, you can again talk nicely, maybe better than the one who is there because he's not a good orator. But then is it the same thing who has never been there and talking about it? So be there right now. Scriptures are good, they motivate us. They fine-tune us. Then you have to be there, practice to be there. The whole day passes with work, without work, doesn't matter. But there is no change in the silence within. And I have to say, in initial days, the moment you touch your ego, you want to correct, you have your opinion, you get a slap. Slap in a sense, you feel agitation, restlessness, and living in that silence, you don't care about anything. You become unconcerned. You don't give a damn to anything. Because there is some power which is looking after everything. It is none of our business to correct or rectify people. Rather than fixing the problem on this earth, you want everyone to come on this side where there is no problem. No problem land. Because so many people, reformers, came on this earth to fix this place. And you know where it is right now. There is no way to fix distorted mind. You transcend mind. There are so many yogis, saints, sages in caves, in Himalayas, in forest. They don't bother about fixing people. It's enough that we can fix our own self. There are gurus, there are people who touch or do something so you feel good. And I'm not saying they are not genuine, they might be genuine, and you feel that the mind is no more and you're feeling bliss. Now, what happens is you're dependent on that person as a person, and you lose your practice thinking that he will touch again and it will all be sorted out. So you become more dependent on these gurus and teachers. I don't know what purpose they serve. If they are real gurus, then they don't serve any personal purpose. But if they are fake, and definitely fake gurus have fake disciples. But the most important thing to understand is there is no need to depend on anyone. It's all within. The real guru is waiting to hug you. You be with that. Only enemy we have with us constantly is our mind. You have to give up that company and you have to pick up the company of self. This is all an internal shift. Earlier you do, you will be free. Freedom is only from our own mind, nothing else. Contemplate only on changeless. To change, you have to be in a time frame. It is timeless. To change, you should have some form. You are formless. Whenever you talk about yourself, talk from there where you are changeless, formless, nameless. And see how beautifully you are placed in this space. How contented you are here. How much bliss you experience all the time in this. Then why would you associate with anything which has name and form? Then that Arunachala becomes nameless and formless. Then Ramana becomes nameless and formless. Then all good things becomes nameless and formless. That pure energy. And same nameless and formless everywhere. At some places, people can feel it. At other places, it is less effulgent. But it is there all over. Just like the electrical current going through a wire, somewhere it is insulated so you will not know at all. Other places there is a big light bulb glowing so you can see it. But it is everywhere. When you realize within you, then whether you live at Arunachala or in America or anywhere doesn't matter. Because it is everywhere. It's the same. Yes, for an ignorant who is seeker, who is just trying to get grip within, for that person, you will feel more at a place which is charged with that energy. Be in your blissful self all the time, unchanging, pure awareness, without form, without name, purest of pure, taintless. You are that all the time, always. Even when you don't know you are that, you are actually that. In this waking dream, you are doing all the stupid stuff and then feeling guilty about it. Know the truth and be free from all guilt, all sins. Be one with that. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Om Shanti Shanti. Thank you everyone.